What's up, YouTube? Man, it's your boy Ashton Jackson, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys versus Giants in the preview matchup and ways that we're going to win. So before we hop into the video, I appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content, man. So before I go into the ways of really how we beat some teams, I like to go over the injury report. So for the Dallas Cowboys, I'm not going to go over every single player that is on the injury report. I'm just going to go over some of the key players who possibly will not play. So right now it looks like our special teams, one of our most explosive players on our special teams is Kevontae Turpin. And it looks like he is not going to play because he suffered a shoulder injury against Philly. Somebody tackled him and landed on his shoulder. So that was really initially how the injury started, and he hasn't practiced all week, so it doesn't look like he is going to play on Sunday. And also, Deuce Vaughn has been receiving some kick return and punt return snaps in practice, so look to see Deuce Vaughn back in the lineup again, possibly elevated from practice squad to the active roster. They announced that Tyron Smith pretty much isn't going to be practicing for the rest of the year, which I think is a great thing because Tyron Smith is one of those guys that, he can have a limited amount of reps in practice, go into the game and just, get there and do well. And he doesn't really need to practice that much. Yes, he needs to stay in condition and things of that nature, but he gets hurt, out of the stadium, as, a lot of people seem to find out that he gets hurt, at home. He gets hurt on the way to the facility. He never really gets hurt in practice. He never really gets hurt in games, because it's really rare that you ever see Tyron Smith leave a game because he was injured. Outside of that Patriots game, when people landed on his ankle. Marquise Bell got diagnosed with a calf injury. They say he had limited participation in practice, but I feel like he's going to be a full go. So for the Giants, they have a lot of people out right now. Adoree Jackson, they're labeling out with a concussion. That's mainly their nickel slot type of corner. And then you have Evan Neal, who's out with an ankle injury. Paris Campbell is questionable with a hamstring. And then you have Andrew Thomas, who just came back. He had a hamstring injury. His status is unknown. The ways that we can beat this New York Giants really is we have to start out fast and get rid of this team, man. They really have no business being on the field with us. They're a 2-7, they're a 2-7 or a 2-6 football team. I know that we're 5-3, but this game still has a lot of stakes for us because, again, you don't want to lose this game, fall to 5-4, and then now you're really fighting an uphill battle in terms of just making it to the playoffs. Forget the NFC East, because at that point, if you lose on Sunday, you don't even have a chance to even compete in the East right now, right? So you have to start off fast, get rid of this team. Let's not play any hero ball. Let's play team ball, because that's exactly what happened against the Arizona Cardinals week 3. We all try to play hero ball on the defensive side of the football, overshooting our gaps, not paying attention to the read man, and letting the quarterback run down the field for about 40, 50 yards. Misses coverage assignments. When they're motioning somebody over, we're not communicating, and then we're having a receiver running a deep post on the opposite hash of the field and getting wide open for almost a touchdown if Malik Hooker wasn't there. So you had a lot of blunders in that game, and hopefully you don't bring that over here in this type of magnitude in this game, because we need to win, just because we want to get back into that NFC East conversation. So that's why when week 10, or not week 10, my bad, when December 10th happens and we have to play the Philadelphia Eagles, I think week 14 or week 13, uh, you want to make that game for is for first place in either the NFC or uh, the East, right? So getting rid of this team early and doing it swiftly, and don't take your time with this team. Get them in, get them out. Because we got to prepare for next week, because the Dallas Cowboys and the Lions and everyone that plays on Thanksgiving, but most of the Dallas Cowboys and Lions face this a bunch of times where we're heading into that stretch where they play 3 games in 11 days. So we got this game at home. Next week we go to Carolina. Then we come back home on a short week versus uh to play the Washington Commanders. Then the week after that, we play the Seattle Seahawks. So right now we're in that stretch where we're going to be playing a lot of football games. So in our next 3 opponents are basically gimmies. Essentially, if you go out there and you take care of your business, you can basically find yourself rest within some of these games. So that's what I'm saying. Get out of here, get in, get out. Still keep feeding your playmakers. I understand that we're playing a less a potent opponent. So still get your guys going. Get Ferguson, Lamb, Cooks. Get your playmakers going in the passing game. Let's continue with our passing game. Make it more lethal. Keep getting those reps that we need because we didn't get those in preseason. But you still had a really great week. Still had a really great set of weeks coming out of the bye week. So you got to make sure that you're getting your offense still in that rhythm and things of that nature. Um, and also get your run game going, right? Because when we're playing a lot of weaker opponents, we want to make sure that we're getting better at the things that we weren't so great at earlier in the year or in the past previous weeks, and see if we can try to in make sure that we gain our confidence and that we're able to go out there and know that we can get certain things done. And I understand we really couldn't run the ball in some of those games because the Chargers solid run defense, not the best, but it's been solid, more solid than last year than what it was for them. The Rams, it was hard to run on Aaron Donald in that front because they basically were loading up the box and saying, just beat us with your arm, Dak, and that's what he did. He did exactly that. And then, so we got to make sure we get our run game going. We haven't ran for over 100 yards since, I want to say, probably against the Patriots. If not against the Patriots, week 2 against the Jets. It's been a very long time since the last time we've been able to get our run game going. And we have to get it going because now we're heading into that stretch of games where you're going to start playing some cold weather games. You look at it, you play Buffalo in Buffalo. That's going to be a cold weather game. You got to play Seattle. You're going to play a lot of high powered offenses where you need to run the ball to win time of possession and keep the offenses on the sideline and keep them stale. So that's why you can keep our defense fresh. But of course, keeping our defense fresh also means scoring a lot of points and punching it in the red zone. That's another thing we have to work on is our red zone, because that's what kind of cost you a little bit in some of those games in the earlier times against the Cardinals, in the Eagles, right? So we got to get working on those some of our weaknesses and hope to fine tune them in these next 3 to 4 games. You got to limit your penalties and your turnovers. We should not have a lot of penalties in this game. Neither should we have turnovers. Let's take care of the ball. We've been doing really well taking care of the ball. Um, After the Niner game, we've been doing really well taking care of the ball, so I'm not really too worried about that. Penalties, we've been doing pretty well on penalties. I know last week we got 8. I think the week before that we might have had like anywhere from 3 to 5, maybe 6. So, and those are, but I'm talking about penalties, accepted penalties. So nothing that moves our offense behind the chains, gets the opposing team's offense, through the chains, and you're giving them free yards and stuff like that. So make sure that we're playing fine and clean football. Again, play team ball, not hero ball. Let's stop the run. Let's stop Saquon Barkley. That's always been the goal every single time that you play the Giants, no matter how good or healthy Saquon was. You always had to shut down Saquon because he's one of those guys that can get it going. But also, you want to stop the run because you want to force Tommy DeVito to play quarterback, just like the Raiders did. The Raiders, they stopped the run, they choke holes on the run, and it was forcing Tommy DeVito to throw the ball downfield, and that's where Max Crosby and that defensive line for the Raiders got unleashed, and they were able to go out there and go get Tommy DeVito. I think we can do the same thing. I think they allowed 6 or 7 sacks to the Raiders. I think with the Cowboys, they can allow some of what they did last week versus the Raiders, but more like what they did week 1, anywhere from like 8 to 10 sacks. So I think we can get that done. And normally the Dallas Cowboys do really well against less I guess weaker opponents. So I guess against quarterbacks that aren't that great, we look like an all-time defense, and then when we play a really good offense slash great quarterback, we look like a middle of the pack type of defense. We look okay, right? So I still think our defense can improve. There are some things that we still can improve, and some people are coming along, especially with some of the snaps. I think Sam Williams should be getting sometimes his on the opposite of D Law should be getting majority of the reps over Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler. I think he has earned the right to go out there and earn snaps and to go out there and start for you. You got a strip sack versus one of the best offensive lines in the league. He got a block punt in the Rams. So he was talking about on Twitter how he needs to get let go. He needs to get out of the doghouse. He deserves it. He's been playing really well the past 2 weeks. So let's get him in there. And on 3rd and long, sit in the house. Please don't have Tommy DeVito standing back there. I'm pretty sure we can send the 4 that we have and still get home. But in certain situations, let's go after Tommy DeVito and let's just throw the kitchen sink at him. So that's why he can just be super nervous in the game. He can just force himself into throwing picks. So things of that nature. So that's about it for the video. Again, some of the ways that in which a way we can beat the Giants real quickly. Start out fast, get rid of this team. They have nothing to lose, so you got to make sure you get rid of them early. Feed your playmakers, Ferguson, Lamb, and Cooks. Get your run game going when playing weaker opponents. Try getting better at things you weren't in previous weeks. Limit your penalties and turnovers. Play team ball, not hero ball. Stop the run and force Tommy DeVito to play quarterback, just like the Raiders did. And shut down Saquon. And on third and long, just in the house. That's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.